You want to eat the microphone?
Oh, okay, right. Do I need these on?
Nah.
Okay.
You look more professional, but no, we can
so
just
where's
talk.
that want to be pointing right in my mouth, yeah?
Right in your mouth.
Right.
Okay.
This reminds me of that time I got welded, man.
No. I should warn people that it could be a comedy show as well. Everything's good. Everything's running.
Okay.
Does this scare you? This?
No, I just don't know what it is. It's like
Dude, you're gonna have to
something
move your chair right in.
Right.
Because, like I say, if you do say something interesting, Dave, we want to capture it.
I will say something interesting. This is just like something out of a 1980s
1980s?
TV sci-fi show, like Blake 7. No one remembers that shit.
No, I don't know.
Am I allowed to swear?
You can say what you want. Yeah, I don't know what any of this does. To be fair.
Oh, okay, good.
There's about 3 or 4 buttons that I know.
Just press them, see what happens.
Yeah, now's not a good time to do that. But anyway,
you're so grown up.
You're looking big, dude.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're all right,
yeah.
actually.
Yeah, you know.
Can I do the game where I guess the weight?
Yes, you can.
It's been a while, but I reckon you weigh.
You're going to get this. I know you'll get this.
No, I'm not sure. I could be. I'm going to say you're above 80 at the minute. Am I right?
I am above
okay.
80. Yeah.
So I'm going to go 81 kilos.
That's close. Yeah, 81.5.
81.5. I'm pretty good at that game. Yeah, you definitely. You look big, man.
Yeah, cheers, mate. You know when you said you wanted one of these T-shirts?
Yeah.
You know it won't make you look like me, right?
That's why.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just saying.
Totally cool.
Yeah.
How you got so big? I mean, I want to talk about training.
We'll talk about that later. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it now.
Oh, I don't know. What have you got a sequence? So do you treat all your guests like this? You don't tell them what they're going to talk about.
No.
You just throw shit at them. Is that how it works? Yeah. That's special for me because you thought, catch the old man out. See if he goes on some rambling Grandpa Simpson style stories.
No, I have the occasional guest that's like, can I have an outline of what we're going to talk about? Outline, but normally no, because I like conversations.
Yeah.
What I hate is, when people get these questions and they read off them.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's so boring.
Yeah, and it's obvious when that's what's going on, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of like, with you though, I really, out of through my own selfish kind of like desires to learn more, when I talk about training, kettlebells, body weight, longevity, how to get the most out of it, especially for guys who are like, there's some guys now who are coached and they're like, I don't know, they've either never trained, so they're kind of like they're past their physical best.
Right.
So they're like,
even though they've never had a physical best.
In terms of, let's say, like their hormone
potential.
Production,
right.
Training potential, perhaps. Even though, like, they've got it all in front of them, like they can improve. What I mean is, they're never probably going to be like they could have been if they started training in their 20s.
Yeah.
And they've almost got to learn how to train at age 40 or 50.
Yeah.
Some guys think they can train and they can't, and then some guys just have never tried.
Yeah.
I think the guys who think they can train, who can't, are much more difficult to teach.
Definitely.
So I think it's worth talking about that, because I think it's good for a guy of any age to get into training. And I don't want to discourage men who are 50 who've never lifted from starting lifting.
I mean, the good thing is, if you've never lifted and you're 45, 50, you're going to make improvements, right? You're 100%. You are going to get stronger. You're going to get fitter. You're going to look better. And that can happen at any age, regardless of whether, like you say, you've missed out on all that high hormone level potential, all that high testosterone level. But also there are things to do that you can do that are going to increase your testosterone at any age, like getting more sleep, doing sprints, lifting heavy. So it's like almost like a vicious circle. It's like people, there's no point in me lifting weights because my testosterone's so low I won't build muscle. But if you lift weights, your testosterone levels will increase. Then you will build muscle, and then your testosterone levels will increase more, and then it all snowballs. So I think the hard thing for people that have never trained is getting over that obstacle. It's getting over that it's not for me. You get these people, my wife used to be a yoga teacher, and she used to get this all the time. People go, I can't do yoga because I'm not flexible. That's exactly why you need to do yoga. Yeah. And the people that are good at yoga because they're flexible, they might as well not fucking bother. They need to go and lift weights because they're just doing, and this is the trap you get into. You just do what you're good at. And for some people, if you've been good at doing nothing or just running or putting your Lycra on and riding a bike, what the fuck's that all about? That's all people want to do, So I'm probably going to alienate a lot of your listeners here, by the way, but that when you invite me on.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Okay.
That's fine. I mean, I kind of can relate because I'm trying to get better at writing, but the fact that I suck at writing is the thing that's putting me off doing more of it.
But the more you do,
of course. So even though I understand it, it's still worth understanding the resistance that lies there too.
And it's a real basic primal way of thinking, because that's what I see with our kids. They, I don't want to practice reading because I'm no good at it. I don't want to play rugby because I'm no good at it. And you think that's a real childish way of thinking. But like you say, that's how we all think about certain things.
Absolutely. I think motivation comes with things that you're good at too.
Yeah.
So I don't think, like, with kettlebells is a great example. I'm not that motivated to do it because I'm much better at weights.
Yeah.
So to start kettlebells would kind of like, I'd have to learn again.
Yeah.
Therefore, I might not be that good. So the motivation just to keep doing bench, chin-ups, dips.
It's easy, isn't it? It's comfort zone stuff.
It is
what we talk about all the time. Yeah,
it is comfort zone. Yeah. But also, I also know that to get good at something, you have to sometimes pick one route.
Yeah.
If you want to get really good at something.
Yeah.
Right?
If you want to get good at something to the exclusion of all other things, if you want to be focused, then yeah, you've got to do that. You've got to be obsessed. And people talk about obsession like it's a bad thing, but the only way you get good at anything is by being obsessed with it. It doesn't have to take over your whole life. We were talking about playing chess earlier, right? We could come in here and we could want to be the best chess players we'd ever want to be. And we'd have to come in here every day and play chess, and not just against each other, but against other people, primarily against people that are better than us. So we're going to get beaten every time we play. And that's quite hard to deal with just mentally. And that's the same process you go through when you're lifting weights, because you're basically losing every time you do it, right? You're going to a point of failure, to a weight that you can't lift, to a rep that you can't do. And that's quite hard mentally, and that we've had that thing in us since we're children, that we don't want to do stuff that we're not good at. So overcoming that is really mentally, it's purely mental. It's not physical at all. And that's,
no, you're so right.
I think the thing that you go into a lot with your guys is the mental side of it, rather than the reason you can't do that isn't because you're physically not strong enough. It's because you lack the desire to become good enough to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. In BJJ, they teach us you don't want to get tapped out all the time. You want to fight people that you're better than, are roughly the same, and people that are better than you. Yeah. So you learn how to attack, because you can attack more against people that are not as good as you. Yeah. And you often defend more against people that are much better than you.
And you've got to be good at both, right?
And you've got to be good at both. But I do teach more of the mental side, and but it's hard to know what to, because you could use this blueprint of like, well, there's millions of things I'm not very good at. So how do I pick something that I'm willing to suck at? Yeah. Because I probably won't know the answer whether I enjoy it. So kettlebells, for example, I could spend 6 months ago. Actually, I still prefer weights. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it's being okay with that. Yeah. And knowing the difference between just a bit of resistance and you actually just not giving a shit about what you're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think, especially as you get older, you've got to look at the risk to reward ratio as well. So you've got to think, what am I putting into this? What's the potential downside versus what am I getting out of it? And this might shock you. Like, I don't deadlift anymore, right? Because I don't think I need to. I do some different things with kettlebells now, which we'll talk about. For me, deadlifting, and I see a lot of guys deadlift badly. I see a lot of guys deadlift with okay form. I put a lot of time and effort into it, and the payback from that is quite small. Right, I think if you're 45, 50, how old are you, mate?
I'm 38.
Okay, you're not even here yet. But if you're 45, 50, with the best will in the world, unless you've never lifted before, you're probably not going to hit a PR, a lifetime PR. Right, so from that point of view, are you strong enough with what you can lift already? Yeah, probably, if you've been lifting for a while. Do you need to push yourself into that last 2-3% of effort where your form's going to break down, where you're lifting very heavy weights relative to your ability, relative to your skeletal structure, relative to your ligaments and tendons? Do you need to push yourself into that zone, that high risk injury zone, for what reward?
Yeah, that's a good point, because thinking about that, actually, I squatted about 165 maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah, and what's weighing what, like 85 kg? That's,
maybe even a little bit more.
Yeah, so it's like a double body weight squat almost. Yeah.
Yeah. More than actually, I remember at the time. So yeah, I must have been about 82. Yeah. So anyway, I kind of have this understanding now that I don't think I'll get back there. Yeah. So it almost loses its not incentive, because I mean I haven't back squatted for months and months and months, but like there's new challenges that present themselves now. Like, for example, I went through a period of trying to run a mile as fast as I could.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And now I love...
It's hard, isn't it?
It's really difficult.
You tell people you can run a mile in 6 minutes, they go, oh, that's rubbish. With no conception of what that feels like. Yeah, a 6 minute mile for a normal human is really, really good.
Now I'm even getting into... There's a WOD called Murph.
Oh, yeah, the Murph workout. Yeah.
I love the mile idea. I only saw it the other day. Yeah, it's a mile... Yeah. You run a mile, you do
100 pull-ups,
200 push-ups, 300
squats. Right?
squats.
Yeah. And then you do a mile again.
And then you do a mile's finish. Yeah. And then when you can do that, I think they get you to do it with like a 9-kilogram weighted vest on. And I was like, that is something that now gets my attention.
There's a guy, I can't remember his name, you have to Google him, he just popped up on my social media today. I've got a lot of friends in America now, which happened during lockdown through social media, so I'll see a lot of American military stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a guy in the US military who did the Murph every day for a year. So like that's insane, right? So he's doing, I don't know, 3,650. I didn't go into like, I didn't follow the link. I just kind of browsed stuff and I didn't follow
you just saw it.
Yeah,
but you don't know what physically.
I don't know what. No, but I do want to kind of dig around and follow that up and see what it did to him physically.
That's what I'm interested in. Will it get me more jacked up, or will I just get slimmer and leaner?
Yeah, I'd go slimmer and leaner.
Do you think?
Yeah,
it depends. I mean, it depends what calories you're putting down.
Yeah, your recovery is massive, but calories you can recover. The time you can't recover. So I don't know how old this guy was. You know, if he's 25, it's different to if he's 35 or 45.
But I estimated I could probably do that in an hour right now, roughly.
So what are you looking at? I mean, if you took it easy, right, you're looking at, say, 8-minute miles at either end, yeah?
Yeah, I was thinking
60 minutes, right?
9-minute mile.
Let's say 20 minutes, right? Allowing for transitions.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, so then you've got 100 pull-ups, 10 minutes, right? 200 push-ups, 10 minutes. 300 squats, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, so you've got 50 minutes there. You could do that in an hour. Yeah.
Although I wouldn't do it like that. I'd be doing like 5 chins, 10 push-ups, 15 squats.
Yeah, but you could break it down.
rounds.
But in terms of time,
yeah,
you could do that. Should we go and do it now? Just bin this off.
Let's go do it. Dude, seriously, I'm gonna try it Saturday morning.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, my client did it the other day. He did it in just over an hour. He's a very good runner, but not as strong at chin-ups as I am.
Let's do it. I'll do it Saturday.
Okay, cool. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. And I think the elite time is 40 minutes.
I've seen people like high 30s. I think. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be getting any of that, but we'll see. I
think the second run is probably the thing that's going to kill you, because you can go balls out on that first run and then do all your upper body stuff, right? Do your push-ups and your pull-ups while you're recovering from that. Then you go into your squats and then you do your run. So I think then that second run, maybe that 9-10-minute miles for those runs, that's probably going to be 7 minutes on the first one and 12 on the second. You
were always brilliant at this kind of training. Do you think you could do 5 chins, 10 push-ups, 15 squats with no rest now times 20?
All day.
Do you think?
All day, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking 5, 10, 15, have a little break. But I don't think there'd be time.
No, there wouldn't. You'd lose too much. I mean, you're going to get breaks on the transitions.
5 chins is always enough I seem to recover from 5 chins. Yeah. When I start going 6 or 7 or 8, I'm like,
there's just that number what tips you over the edge.
Yeah.
I think for me, a lot of stuff I do now, I do 2 different sorts of training. And I do some really short, sharp stuff like half an hour, which will still fuck you up if you do it properly.
Yeah.
It's still productive. And I'll do stuff like I did last Wednesday. I had like an hour and a half sled push and pull-ups. I pushed and pulled a sled for 1 kilometer. Right? Every 100 meters, I did 100 pull-ups. Went back on the sled.
Every 100
meters.
You did 100?
No, I did 10 pull-ups. Sorry. 10 pull-ups. Yeah. Pull-ups, not chin-ups. Yeah. So I did 10 pull-ups. So it was 100 pull-ups and like 1 kilometer of sled push.
Wow.
Hour and a half that took me. It took me 97 minutes. Right. Nice. I thought it was going to take me about 75. So I totally screwed up. Yeah. Double body weight on the sled.
Wow.
So push 10 meters, pull 10 meters. Pull it with my hands, not rope drag. Just actually pull it, jump back, pull it.
Oh, wow.
Back. And that, the reason I like doing long stuff like that is because it makes you think about what you're doing. It gives you time to think about every little movement you're doing and just think about other stuff as well. You know, like, why the fuck am I pushing a sled for 1 kilometer? For instance, that popped into my head almost every 2 minutes.
I don't think about anything like that. I love it. Oh, you'll probably take the piss out of me, but I did 45 minutes of stair climbing this morning.
Right, okay.
I think they call it the
Stairmaster. Ground floor flat. Oh, sorry, right, yeah.
I think they call it the Stairmaster. Yeah. It literally just rotates.
I know what you mean.
I'm sure. Like, I don't know if
classic.
Exactly. I was like, I'm not even sure Craig knows these machines exist.
I do know exist because I see people do like ridiculous, like walking up it sideways
on TikTok. Anyway, 45 minutes of that.
I don't do TikTok, man.
No, I've never been on, bro. Seriously, I've never been on TikTok. I've never been on Snapchat. I don't do Twitter. I've come off LinkedIn because it's dull as fuck. Although I think I'm going to go back on.
Yeah, I think every now people go, "Oh, you should be on LinkedIn." I'm like, but I've been on LinkedIn and nothing happens.
It's full of a lot of pretentious fucking idiots, is what it is.
And I thought I was going to alienate you. This.
No offense, LinkedIn fucking but if you get offended by that now, I'm like, you get a life.
Yeah.
Get a life. Do you know what I mean? People, anyway, what we so I did 45 minutes, and I had this story that I hate cardio, like, but I don't actually like sweating.
Yeah.
You know that challenge of like an hour and 15 sled and chin-ups? There's something beautiful about doing that.
Yeah. It's just really like meditative, and you just get into that zone. That's all you're doing. And, you know, for me, you know, all my life, I've liked doing stuff that other people look at and think, why is he doing that? That's mental. I like that. I like being out on my own doing stuff. And for me, that was like, I just literally lay in bed one night and I was like, you know what I'm going to do tomorrow? I said, I'm going to push the sled for 1 kilometre. She's like, yeah, fine, because she knows me.
Like, where did you do this at Sparta HQ?
Yeah,
Were you on your own?
Yeah.
That's even better.
Yeah. Oh, can you imagine doing that in the gym? Yeah. You're going to be long, mate? About 73 minutes.
Well, I love the fact that like no one's watching you. I mean, that's proper work. You know, I used to love that about owning the old studio. I'd do some really challenging workouts, and it was just me.
I mean, there were people in and out, and that made it even almost like a time lapse thing. Yeah. There were people coming in. You've got these other trainers work there. They were coming in, doing their sessions, leaving. I'm still there. Yeah. You know, one guy, Tom, bless him, kept sticking his head around the corner, going, "You all right, mate?" Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just enjoying myself.
Yeah. What's changed over the years for you in terms of training? So, I think for me, like I don't lift as many heavy weights now. Like I'm guessing you've kind of gone down the same path by the sounds of the fact that you don't deadlift, for example.
I don't do any barbell work now, basically.
Wow, you do zero barbell work?
Zero barbell work. I program it still. I'll train people with barbells if that's what they want to do. What I always try and steer them towards is what I do now, and it's purely kettlebells. I do an absolute ton of swings. I'm into a thing became friends with a guy in America. You might see me on his social media. He's called Sergeant Major Kettlebell, right? He's the Sergeant Major in the US Marines.
I wish I had a badass name like that.
It's cool, isn't it? Yeah.
Sergeant Major
Kettlebell. That's not his real name. Obviously, his real name's Steve.
What?
His real name's Steve.
That's a bit disappointing.
You can Google this guy. He holds multiple world records for unbroken kettlebell swings.
Okay.
Right, so just get a 24, swing it. He'll keep going until he can't do any more swings, right?
Okay.
How many do you think?
Successive swings
with a 24. How many do you go? Bear in mind, you know, the accepted wisdom is you do 10, 15, 20. How many do you think Steve can do?
Well, I reckon you're into 4 figures.
Yeah, this is a good estimate. See, only someone like you would estimate this. Normal people would go like 34.
But I would assume, because it's so crazy, I kind of like my mind's wondering now. But 1,700.
Close, 1,300. Okay. Yeah, swings without putting a bell down.
Yeah, that's
right
crazy.
Now.
Your hands would get. Is he allowed any
chalk? That's it.
Chalk.
Yeah,
what a legend.
And then so he holds world records there. Holds world record for the most swings, or the most weight swung in a minute, which is obviously a really
good form too.
Yeah. It's got to be chest height.
Right, cool.
That's
I'd fail. You've seen my swing.
That's obviously the heaviest bell you can basically swing for a minute, because then that's the only way to get the reps in and the weight for that record. But so I became friends with him, ironically, by someone sending me his stuff and me going, "That's bullshit. No one can do that."
You probably tried it.
No one can do that. I wouldn't even contemplate trying it at the time.
Really? I'm surprised you haven't tried it.
I have now. Yeah.
Oh, what did you get?
No, 24 I haven't. So I've done 101 with a 44, which is.
Okay. What did you try with the 44?
97 pounds. Just because.
When he did it with a 24.
No. Because I talked. We're really good friends, so I talk to him every day, and we set each other these little. Well, I don't say him anything, because he can do anything. But he sets me these little challenges. He goes, "Hey, Craig, I reckon you can do blah 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 blah."
Where's he from again?
Pakistan, the same as all my accents. But yeah, so he'll just go to me. He'll pop up one day. He says, "I reckon you can do 100 reps with a 97-pound bell." And I'll try, and I can do like 60. So then, because I'm me, I'm like, okay, and he knows that. Yeah. So then I think, right, I need to be able to do 100 reps. Yeah.
That works well with that snatch test you got me to do. Was it the 5 minute?
5 minutes with 100 reps to the 24.
Yeah, that was class.
So what I've got into and what that forms the basis of my training now is this really high rep kettlebell stuff. No, it's not hundreds and thousands, but like I'll do a session where I do 3 sets of 100 with a 32. So I do that every 8 minutes, right? So I do my 100 reps, it takes me 3 minutes. I get about 4 or 5 minutes rest. I do my next set. And just every week I just try and push those numbers up. Right, you've got to be good at swinging to do this, okay? But what I've found is, since I've started doing this, I do 3 hard days. So I'll do an EMOM with swings, I'll do this, I'll do some sprints or some distance on an erg, right? So I don't like running. I've run so many miles, I don't like running anymore. So I'll do. In fact, I've just realised that as I agreed to Murph with you, that I don't like running anymore.
Right. Nor do I, but it's a mile. I can get over
it's only a mile. Yeah. So one day I'll either do long or sprints on an erg, ski erg rower. That's it, basically. And then days in between, I just do stuff that I enjoy. Just do fun stuff. Okay. So like, what did I do yesterday? So yesterday I just did some presses and some snatches and some halos. That was it. Day before I did like half an hour of squats. That was bodyweight squats. Deeply unpleasant. Just hold. I won't go into details anyway, but that's the sort of stuff I do just for fun. And what I found is I'm dropping fat, I'm building muscle. Right, I'm over 21. Right, I shouldn't be building muscle.
Yeah, you never say your age. I think you should though, because I think it would inspire guys at your age.
What month is it? Is it May still?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that old person thing. I'm 54 next month.
Right. Okay.
Right. So, not being funny. It's going to sound really cocky. We can go out there now. So there's like a coffee shop by the studio. We can go out there. You and I will look better than everyone else in that coffee shop, right?
Hold on. That's a big statement.
Yeah, I
guarantee. What about better than most?
I guarantee you. Like, just go and find a guy out there that looks better than us.
Are you talking from the head down?
Yeah.
From the neck down?
Yeah. Because
not facially.
We've got a quality facial hair, which these guys can't compete with.
Well, what I do know is if you went and challenged any guy here or upstairs to like a push-up or chin-up contest, it probably would be no contest.
Only one winner, right? Yeah, exactly. Or maybe two winners. But yeah, so it's almost, I'm not going to say it's reversed the aging process, but what it's obviously doing from the effects it's having on my body, it's massively spiking my testosterone, my HGH, stuff that shouldn't, human growth hormone, i.e. my natural production of it, stuff that shouldn't be happening at my age, right? But anyone at any time can follow these protocols and make this happen. And it's interesting because it's stuff that throughout my life as a kettlebell coach, I've not done with other people. I do it with people now because I know firsthand that it works. And it's not how kettlebells are traditionally used. I think I see more and more now because kettlebells, especially during lockdown, became more and more popular. And what people do is they buy kettlebells and they just do a bodybuilding workout with them. You know, they'll just do
bicep curls, shoulder press.
Yeah, I'll do 3 sets of 8 shoulder press. I'll do 5 sets of 8 incline press, incline chest press, but I'll do it with my kettlebells so it's functional. And it's like as if the kettlebells have got some magic effect. And because you're doing incline chest press with kettlebells, not dumbbells, suddenly your chest will like swell up like King Kong or something. It's not going to work like that. People think, I said this in a post the other day, people think the kettlebell is some sort of magic tool. The tool is your body. That's what you've got to work with every day of your life. And anything else, you've got to judge its effectiveness by the effect that it has on your body in the modality that you're using it in. So there's no massive advantage to doing an incline chest press with a kettlebell to a dumbbell. It'll feel different. The center of gravity will be different. Probably easier to get your elbow tucked in and engage your lats a little bit, but it's not going to massively affect how your muscle grows from doing that exercise. So I think if you're going to use a kettlebell, which obviously I do, you've got to use it for kettlebell specific things like swings, things like snatches that you can't replicate, despite the fact that I see people do it, that you can't replicate with a dumbbell or with a barbell.
Yeah, I was staying with my sister not so long ago, bless her, and she'd bought a couple of bells. And
I'll tell your sister I said hello.
Yeah, well, she was doing exactly what you just said, like upright rows.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the heart to say, actually, like that's not, because I thought she's trying. she's pretty healthy. She looks in pretty decent shape and that. So I've kind of just let her kind of do a thing. But I think kettlebells traditionally is quite a hard. I've always needed instruction on kettlebells.
Yeah.
It's not something I could just pick up and self.
You could now, right?
Oh, now I could.
Yeah.
But that's because I started training with you, for example. So like I said, if I came to you now and I'd self-taught myself and I'd self-taught myself terribly, it'd probably be much harder for you to coach me.
Yeah.
But because you made me do swings and Turkish get-ups and that was it, and halos, I think they were the 3, and I couldn't do anything else until I could do those 3. Like, I'm pretty good at kettlebells, even though I don't do them.
I had 2 guys attended first set of group training I started running after lockdown. I had 2 guys come in, and they both taught themselves kettlebells during lockdown from YouTube, right? One guy, pretty decent, little bit of tweaking here and there. Second guy, almost couldn't tell what he was doing. It was that bad. And that's just, like you say, self-taught.
Yeah.
They've not accidentally, because there's another story associated with this, but they've gone to different sources, both on YouTube, because there's this perception amongst the public that if you see something on a screen, it's true, right? COVID, but won't get political. COVID proved that, right? Everyone believes what they see on a screen. So
people still fucking believe.
I know, mate. I know.
Masks work. Okay. Anyway,
yeah, just
mate, let's not go down there. Let's talk about kettlebells and training.
Same problem, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I followed this guy on YouTube, so it must be right. But you know, because people, right, and I know, absolutely anyone can post a video on YouTube. There's no.
Yeah, you don't need qualification.
There's no qualification. There's no authority. There's no YouTube office where they sit and go, oh, do you know what? This guy's swing isn't very good. Let's not let him post that.
But there's a couple of things, dude. There's like, how many followers has this guy got?
Yeah.
That's the new authority. Does it look cool is another one. And is he or she very good looking?
Yeah. Right. So that's perfect, mate. It's almost like we scripted this.
Yeah.
So these two guys, I then say to them, where did you learn? The first guy, I Googled kettlebell training. His search comes up with RKC and SFG. He goes onto YouTube and he puts RKC and SFG kettlebells.
What?
He finds good trainers. He follows it. The other guy, right? Turns out he'd learnt kettlebells from a lady in Australia who does kettlebells with an 8 kg kettlebell in a bikini on the beach.
To be fair, you can understand the predicament.
So I can see what he's done.
It's like yoga with Adrian. I'm not going to lie.
I know so many men that do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's really nice. Yoga is a difficult thing for me to get into. It's much easier if there's a very nice lady.
I understand that to focus on. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
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 She's quite good though, right?
I don't know. I mean, like I said,
how have you, mate? I know your missus might be listening to this.
Who's also a yoga teacher. No, was a yoga teacher. So obviously for my yoga,
she's a savage now, right?
Questions. She's basically stronger than. She's strong. Yeah, I have to watch myself. I have to up my game.
That's good.
Sometimes I think, I need to.
Well, that's important.
Not necessarily pound, pound for pound. Not in terms of, max raw weight that she could lift.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of her body weight versus mine, I have to I'm like, shit, you did what?
She can do chin-ups and that, can't she?
Yeah. She's we do similar training. She does her own stuff that's a little bit more, I don't know what the word is. Probably a little bit more varied than me because she does a lot of handstand stuff now. She's really into her handstands and she does stuff like that I don't do. But we do a lot of similar stuff. She does the max and broken swing. She can swing 100 reps with a 32 kg bell. I mean, I can't say what she weighs, but that's in the ballpark of half her body weight, right?
What's the challenge there? And it's not. I'm not taking the piss. When it's 100 kilos.
Yeah.
100 reps at 24 kilos or 32 kilos. Did you say?
32 for Charlotte's 32. Yeah, for me,
is it grip? Is it form? Is it endurance? Is it cardiovascular? Is it all of the above?
This is the beauty of it. It's everything.
Yeah, because I know my hands. Take a right beating when I first do kettlebell, and they're tough hands because I've weightlifted all the calluses. But kettlebells tear me up.
Yeah, and some of that will be just technique where you're gripping at a point where you don't need to grip at.
Sure.
So. With doing max and broken high rep, you don't have to go to failure every time. Like I say, I do a session every week where I do 100 reps 3 times. That's hard. It's challenging, but it's not failure, right? But it goes deep enough into it to let me know what my weak areas are and what's going to let me down and what's going to lead to failure. So you'll fail because you'll lose power in your swing. You just haven't got enough power endurance in your glutes and your core to keep popping that bell up to chest height. You'll fail because you gas, just because your cardio is not great over that. I mean, 100 reps is going to take you 3 minutes. That's 3 minutes of basically equivalent to 3 minutes hard running.
Yeah.
Right. So you're going to be gassing by the end of it, right? Yeah. Your grip, obviously, if you're gripping too much or at a time where you don't need to, sometimes you don't have a choice. If it's a heavy bell, you can't not grip it.
Yeah.
So your forearms will just blow up at some point, or just mentally, if you've got to do 100 reps on something, you're 25 reps in and you feel your heart rate start to elevate, the first thing your brain wants to do is stop you doing it. Yeah. Just on a real deep subconscious level, your brain wants to go, we don't like this. This isn't fucking pleasant. We need to stop. And you've got to override that. You've got what we talk about all the time. I've got a new project starting in September called The Mission. And one of the goals of this is just to get people to step out of their comfort zone and just override that little voice in their head that just all the time will be saying, you don't need to do this. This is too hard for you. Stop doing this. And that's one of the thing, I think probably the key thing that stops people progressing. I think it's not physical. In a few cases it will be physical, but for most people it's a mental issue that stops them training.
Yeah, and I think just not getting good and seeing the results and the benefits. Like, and I don't mean the results and benefits just in the mirror. I just mean the feeling like you're getting better at something. Yeah. Which is why coaches like are worth every penny. Like a good coach, because they will make you better every single week, every single session.
I think that's how you perceive improvement as well. Yeah. You know, it's like you're not. You do a session that's just technique, and because people don't come out in a pool of sweat, they think it's a wasted session. Yeah. And they don't realize that 3 weeks down the line, they're suddenly getting extra reps out or lifting extra weight because they've done that technique session.
Well, that's my argument for like, let's say newbie goes into the gym and he doesn't know the difference between a freaking kettlebell, a machine, a barbell and weights. Like, I always think I'd favor my chances of getting him good at like weights over kettlebells.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's more time invested for me in kettlebells. Yeah. So I'm like, I just want the person to feel like they're...
Just want progress, like instant gratification. Yeah, and that's...
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say it's instant gratification, because you do earn it, but the results are clearer and more upfront.
Yeah, and more traditional, right? It's like...
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as people know you train, what do they want to... How much can you bench, right?
I guess so, yeah. Not in my world much anymore.
Well, not in my world, but you know, if you go into it, you talk to people...
Yeah.
Anyone who finds out you're a trainer, they'll, how much can you bench?
Yeah.
I can bench for shit. I don't know how much I can bench. It'll probably be embarrassingly low because I never bench press. I couldn't tell you the last time I bench press.
I haven't benched for 10 weeks, 12 weeks.
See, I probably haven't benched for 12 years, but
I'm injured.
I'm just old.
Well, I used to hear all this thing, like when you get older, you don't want to be like you said, that, you know, chasing personal bests at like 38 against what you did when you were 27.
Yeah.
You know, I was eating 4,000 calories then, shredded. I'm eating 3,200 now, enjoying life a bit more.
Yeah,
so I'm not, do you know what I mean? So I'm like...
You look pretty ripped, dude.
Yeah, I'm lean. Yeah. I've got leaner since I've been injured because I've been doing chins, push-ups.
Bodyweight stuff. We talked about this on your stuff. When I did that thing with your group, didn't we, about how bodyweight is just so good for like fat loss and leaning out. Yeah.
It is. And I can see with some calorie manipulation that I can actually build some muscle here.
Yeah.
I think that will be the only difference, to be honest. Like, if I'm doing 100 chins and I eat 3,000 calories versus 100 chins and I eat 3,500 every day, I'm going to slap on some meat.
Yeah, of course you are, yeah.
You can't not. Yeah. You see these guys going to prison, right? And you remember when Tyson
what have you been watching?
Remember when Tyson went in? And I'm sure
watching this thing.
I'm sure he had like gym equipment, but they always talk about the push-ups, the sit-ups, the rows off the bars. They come out jacked.
Yeah, yeah.
And what I don't get is, dude, I thought in prison you get like these three little shitty meals.
What are you asking me for? Like?
These guys are coming out tanked up. I'm like,
I think there's some deal. You know, I think you swap cigarettes for food and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Or other things. I don't know. Yeah.
But yeah, I can see how like some good body weight stuff can actually, you can get in fucking good shape.
Yeah.
However, most guys can't use their body weight.
Yeah. Funny enough, on that subject of being locked away for 2 years, did you notice how many natural? I'm doing that thing with my fingers. Did you notice how many natural athletes lost a load of size during lockdown?
I mean, no, because I don't follow anything. But does it surprise me? No.
A lot of guys, I'm natural. And so you still train during lockdown, right? Yeah. So how come you lost all that size? Well, because Big Daz at the gym, didn't sell me my magic tablets.
Who would you be most devastated about if you found out they're on gear?
Like Lance Armstrong.
Would you be devastated if you found out like Mo Farah was on steroids?
No. Any professional athlete, I just take it as read that they're on something.
Do you?
Yeah.
Even though you've come from a background of like high performance sports, working with top athletes, you yourself have done like martial arts of all sorts, like, and you've done it gear free, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So how?
I shouldn't say that. As soon as you say 100% natural, you're not. But yes, 100%.
How can you not think of some optimism that there are still people out there that can achieve amazing things without being on steroids?
Right. So I don't know how likely we are to be. I don't know if I can say names there. So let's say 19 out of the 20 fastest men in the world have failed drug tests, right?
Yeah.
But the one guy that keeps beating them hasn't failed a drug test. Uh-huh. What's the likelihood of him really being natural if he's like beating all these people that constantly fail drug tests because that's what they have to do to get to that level? I mean, you're not even talking like, a 50-50 split or 3 or 4 of the top 20 times have been set by guys on drugs. You're talking like 19 out of the top 20 sprinters in the world.
Sprinting was
going to be perfectly obvious. We're going to be sued now, but
I mean, look at Linford Christie's physique, for example.
Yeah, and look how fast he was, and look how competitive he was. But who would I? To answer your question, who would I be?
See, if Usain Bolt I think.
I can't believe you mentioned his name.
I think if that came out that he was, I think I'd be disappointed.
A lot of people would be devastated, but I
wouldn't be devastated. But I'd be like, really?
You think he's running 9.7 seconds for 100 meters? Does that sound very normal to you?
No, it doesn't.
When the guys that are running 9.8 and 9.9 are taking drugs, evidentially, you know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I've got this weird way of rationalising this though. Like over 10 seconds, like freak things can.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And he's built.
Oh, he's built different. I know
he's
that.
Tall,
yeah.
He's not like the sprinters used to be, really.
No, he used to be short, powerful dudes. And
he does lose.
Well, I've been saying that Carl Lewis, he was like lean, wasn't he? I think Carl Lewis was probably natural. He's probably, for me, the last Olympic champion, like sprinter that was natural.
Do you know what? If I could go back and have my day again, I'd be a professional athlete.
Yeah.
I've got the mindset for it.
Yeah.
I love training.
It's sad, isn't it? You know, I talk about this a lot of time.
We love training.
I think quite often you come to the correct mindset when you're like the wrong side of your age. You know?
I know.
Yeah, I think
that's so right.
I said this to Shell when I first met Shell, and she's got the same attitude as this. And I said to her, "You need to find a sport and get really good at it when you still can.
Yeah,
or find some real low-hanging world record that you can just like pick off. You know, that no one really cares about."
No, you've nailed it, mate. It is like the maturity and the mindset is there now for me to be a dedicated athlete. Turn down a lot of temptations, but back in the day it wasn't. Was too much booze.
Yeah,
distracted by women. And what else? Yeah, just partying and just being a bit of a dick sometimes.
Basically. Yeah, but that's just being a young person. So I think to have that old head on young shoulders. I train a guy now, Harry Matic. Have you heard of him? If you follow ice skating, you won't have heard of him. But he's just been to the World Championships, right? Okay. He's Britain's best pairs ice skater.
Yeah, I would take the piss, but I know how fucking brutal ice skating is and how hard it is. I don't let go. So I'm the guy that goes around the outside.
Yeah, I mean with the penguin.
Yeah. I won't let go of the edge. It's so hard.
But Harry's like, when I talk to Harry, it's like talking to me. He's like a 50-year-old man in like a 25-year-old man's body.
He's 25.
Like mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
Because he's so committed and so dedicated to what he does.
Yeah.
And that's all we talk about, you know.
Would you know Lewis Williams, the boxer for Team GB? I had him here a few weeks ago. He's never had a drink.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
And he's 23.
Yeah.
Like you say, and he's like, wow, how did you develop that at your age? He goes out with his mates, he has water.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking
crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, but it's like that old man brain.
Yeah.
Or the brain that we've developed as older men that people in their 20s and their teens can have. And that's what, and again, it's just.
Does it ever get you down though? When you look and go, I could have been so much more, man.
Do you not think could have been heavyweight champion of the world?
Yeah. I do. I think I could have been so much more.
Yeah, it does and it doesn't, because I think I've also done some awesome things that normal people haven't done.
You've done lots of awesome things, yeah.
So, yeah, could I have been better at things? Yeah, it is.
Well, let's reel some of those things off, so because people won't know. You've done some stupid ultra.
Yeah, so I've done some ultra. Yeah, I've done like 75 miles in 24 hours.
Yeah,
I've finished top 10 in the UK in 24-hour racing. I've fought for the British Russian fist fighting title, which is like every time you put a face when I talk about it.
I love that.
So the Russian fist fighting title of Britain. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when you were doing that when we were training you for it. That was brutal, man.
It wasn't fun. And now looking back at that now, and this is what I mean. Like, so that's never a sport you're going to make money at, right?
Why did you do that?
So it's
Russian fist fighting.
We basically.
No, but I mean, I don't even mean this. I mean, why did you want to do that at a deep level?
What?
Why do you want to go and fight like that?
I think it's just that as men, we've got that urge to test ourselves and to see what we can do in a life or death situation, because that's how we're programmed. We're programmed to put ourselves into those fight or flight situations, and you want to know if you're going to run or if you're going to fight. And when it almost like forces you. So I don't know if I just pressed the button then, by the way. Sorry, I've just moved my hand. We haven't been recording for the last half hour.
I don't think they've missed Mitch, to be honest, do you?
It's very niche.
I find this interesting.
It's very niche.
As long as you love kettlebells and Russian fist fighting, you're going to love this episode.
If you just hashtag this fisting, we'll get loads more views. Cuts. Yeah. But yeah, I think, and again, this is the thing, like I say, I've got this new project starting, the mission. And one of the taglines we use for that is fight or flight, because I want to put normal men in a situation that they don't want to be in, right? Where they want to know, they want to be in it, but they don't want to be in it. So you know Gladiator, right? The film Gladiator. Every man in the world has seen Gladiator, right? And I believe about 27 women, but just to look at Russell Crowe.
Mm-hmm.
So when Maximus is having his first fight, I don't know if you remember, it's out in Morocco somewhere. He's chained to his mate. They're all chained together in pairs. And the guy in front of him pisses himself, right? He's so frightened. They show you him like this piss like trickling down his leg.
Mm-hmm.
Every man, when they watch Gladiator, wants to think they're Russell Crowe,
yeah.
right? Reality is most men would be the guy in front of Russell Crowe pissing himself in fear of going into that arena. And what I want to do is put people in a situation where they don't piss themselves. They face their fear and they can do it anyway. And that's
what about pissing yourself though and doing it anyway?
I mean, it's messy, but it's better. Yeah.
So like Jeff would talk about this traditionally. It's like, it's not the fear that you should be ashamed of, or even not ashamed, just not the wrong word. But the pissing yourself is kind of like a normal reaction.
I think there is that thing to it that if you're not frightened of something, then you're not brave for doing it.
Yeah, you need to be scared to be brave, right?
So the guy pissing himself was braver than Maximus, basically. Yeah. Well, maybe. It's an interesting take.
Yeah, or the people watching in the crowd.
This is why your director's cut of Gladiator was rubbish.
But I am like, I know there's things in my life that really scare me, and rather than think I shouldn't be scared, I'm like, this is why I need to be courageous now.
Exactly. Yeah, you need to. It's like feel the fear and do it anyway. That's really cheesy, but it's true.
It's very true.
Yeah, and that's again going back to, because this is what you wanted me to talk about, the kettlebell stuff. Every time I do a max and broken attempt, right, I feel that I don't want to do it.
Yeah, sure.
Right, it's me.
Yeah,
I don't want to do it. Right, because I know there's a possibility I'm going to fail, because I'm not going to keep getting higher numbers every time I do it, right? But B, I know how fucking unpleasant it is, right? People talk. I see so many overqualified, underexperienced trainers now, and I see so much shit about energy systems. Like, is that zone 2 cardio you're doing there, man? Dude, I'm swinging a 97-pound kettlebell for 100 reps. It's every fucking zone, right? Talk to me about your cardio zones. But that's what's unpleasant. You go in just that one thing, you go through everything. It's like a warm-up. It's like steady state, and then it gets harder. It becomes power, it becomes strength. Right at the end, it's just almost pure strength. You're gassed, but you've just got to use pure strength to jack these reps out when the last like 5-10 reps. Steve and I talk about all the time that you're working all that time just to get to the last 10 reps, because that's the real, that's when you find out what's going to happen and what you're made of.
Sure, but you like that. That's the difference.
I do, but I'm still nervous when I do it.
Yeah, sure. But you know that, like, to add on to the A and B that you've just put, the C is, that's where the goal is. That's where the reward is. I'm going to be stronger for it.
That's the magic word. That's where the reward is. Yeah. You've got to get to that. And
the
reward,
guys won't know that because they've never done A or B.
Yeah. And that's what I want to do with the mission and get them into that, put them into that position where I make them do A and B, and they just think it's part of their training. And then we pop C on them 1 week.
Do they know this is coming?
They know something's coming, but they don't know what.
Okay, so what kind of guy is going to be attracted to that then?
People like me and you. No, not necessarily people like me and you. Guys that are in their 40s, in their 30s maybe, and like you were saying, have never done anything physical and think their prime's past them. And I want them to know it's not. I want them to think hormonally it is, but they can come in and still do something, still be people that make their families and their children proud. I mean, for me, having children is such a game changer. I don't want it. Again, more elitist Nazi bullshit, but we go swimming every Saturday, right? And I'm the oldest dad in there, 100%, right? My daughter's 5. I'm definitely the oldest dad in there. Am I the fittest dad? Yeah. Do the other dads look like me? No. So, but they could, right? They could train, they could do stuff, but that pathway doesn't exist, and that thought process doesn't exist. So I want to take the thought process away and just go, look, just come and do this. I will tell you what to do. In 7 weeks' time, there's going to be a challenge. You're on your own, but you'll be able to do it.
See, me and Simon spoke about this last week. Because you're the fittest, healthiest dude, you're the guy who's not normal. So
no,
we've
I'm
normalized,
fully aware of that.
we've normalized like bad health now, and to be out of condition is the norm. Yeah. And to be fit is now, the minority.
Yeah, well, I shouldn't go to a swimming pool full of 20 other men and at my age be the fittest dude in there. That's not right.
No, you're right. Because all of my mates, as much as I love them, none of them are in good shape.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the freak who goes to the gym every morning.
Yeah. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. So I'm like, it's very normal to be that. And I think one of the keys is like, if one of your guys joins the mission, for example, like, to normalize being strong is a really good thing.
Yeah.
Like, get around guys that are strong.
Yeah.
And the norm is that you can do 10 chins.
Yeah, yeah.
Until you can do that,
Yeah.
like, you know, you don't hang with us, you know.
Exactly. I do 100 pull-ups every day, right? Right. It's not even, I don't even consider it training. I just do it, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right, that's weird to other people.
Yeah.
But I don't even think about that. I just do it.
Yeah.
And it's something I got away from. Do you remember I used to do pull-ups all day long? You know, when we worked together, you wanted to find me, I'd be by the pull-up bar, right? And I'd gone away from that for quite a while. And I just thought, there's no reason I can't do this every day again like I used to. And it just happens. It's not training. I'm not going max effort. I'll break them out. I did them this morning. I did set of 8, set of 7 for like 7-8 sets, and it's done. That's it.
Well, I always look back now and wonder how much of my mindset and my way of training is down to training with you for, 3 years, 4 years?
Probably 3-4 years at Fitness First, yeah.
Yeah, and to be honest, you were the first person who I trained properly with. Like, I'd messed about a bit at the gym and stuff, but you were the first person I trained with properly. And I'm just wondering now whether that's... I can't see how it would not have a long-term impact.
Because you were like fresh out of the box then, weren't you? You were like,
I didn't know anything.
Didn't know anything. No,
I remember asking you if you knew what a 5x5 training was, because I just read about it, and you're like, looked at me like, you know, I'm a fucking expert person. Yeah. Anyway, chin ups, dip. We used to just pound away, chin ups, dips for an hour.
But what did we do? Just basic stuff. Right?
Oh yeah,
and I see so much nonsense now.
It's contact micro.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, I see so much nonsense now with people that have been trainers for like 3 months and they're doing this really overcomplicated stuff. They'll give people a workout with like 27 different movements in it, and you just stop.
I think it keeps the client almost happy because the client doesn't know any better.
Yeah.
So like, it's not the client's fault. Like,
no, it's not.
There's trainers down my gym, and the trainers are not the best at all. And the clients
Would you care to mention the name of that gym, Alex?
Probably not right now. People know where it is, but
if you see Alex in the gym and you're a trainer, he thinks you're shit.
Well, look, it's a local, everyone active, so I'm not expecting the best. But there's things like range of movement that you just like.
But that's like saying if you go to a small hospital, you shouldn't expect the best. You shouldn't expect the doctors to know what they're doing.
We just talked about normalising. If the standards for everyone are quite low, then it's normal, and no one knows any better. So if I went in that gym, no one would like me because I'd be like, everything we're doing here is wrong. Yeah, we need to be 10 levels above.
Yeah,
you know, just the way that you greet people, the way that you train them. You're not on your phone, for fuck's sake.
You know what?
You're not on your fucking phone. I mean, no matter what level trainer you are, you can get the fuck off your phone with the client. Fucking hell.
Someone contacted me probably a couple of years ago now that I used to work for, and he'd just taken over a new gym as a general manager. He said, would you like to come in and be gym manager? I said, like, so firstly, like, no, just straight away, no, I don't want a job, I'm unemployable. I said, you wouldn't want me there because you would find me unemployable.
Yeah.
You would be finding a complete new roster of personal trainers probably every 3 weeks if I was the gym manager, because I would have such high, like you've just said, not even high standards. I would have such average standards, you know, that they're probably not going to meet it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we run a thing called, Sean and I run a thing called a coaching circle, and it's training just for trainers. Okay. But it's not just, so we program for them, but we break every program down. So this is why we've done this. This is why we've done this. This is why we've done this. This is how you apply this to clients. This is how you apply it to fit clients. This is how you apply it to average clients. This is how you apply it to newbies. We've got guys in there. I had a guy I was speaking to a couple of weeks ago. He's like doubled his revenue as a trainer. He works in a chain gym. He's doubled his revenue inside 3 months of being with us, purely because he does stuff properly and he does stuff different to what the other trainers are doing. And the sad thing is they're getting that information from me, but there's information around that would make 99% of trainers in this country better trainers, right? They just don't access it. I think people it's like they learn their trade, or they think they learn their trade, they get the certificate and they just stop, and that's it. And it's the same as training itself. There's that desire that you and I have to be better at training. We also have that desire to be better coaches, right? In terms of the people we learn from, the people we use as mentors, the people we read. You know, you read loads, right? Because it makes you a better human, right? You learn stuff, And there's too much now where people just think, right, I've done this, I've gone from A to B, I've got a certificate to say I'm at point B, rest of the alphabet can fuck off, I don't need it. But you're just stopping at B, and you're never, most trainers at your gym, right, their clients could probably train themselves that well by buying one edition of Men's Health, right? If people still buy magazines anymore. I don't know if people do.
I don't even know if Men's Health does it
I
still exist?
don't know if there's a website. I don't know if it exists in real life. But
the other argument to that, mate, is that there's so much information out there that no one really values the information or knows which information channel to pursue. So like your example of kettlebells, you can find thousands of
you can find awful
kettlebell instructors on YouTube. So for the untrained individual, it is quite difficult to separate if you don't know what you're looking for.
It's not the fault of the public. It's not the fault of the gym goers. No. It's the fault of the industry. Is just, I mean, I say it to people all the time. It's the fitness industry. It's not the fitness help you out. It is the fitness industry, and it's grown to this monster to make money. And one of the main money-making schemes in it is by training other trainers. Yeah. Right? It's by certifying trainers. It's, let's get as many people on. The business will get as many people on as we can. I saw an advert the other day, qualify as a personal trainer in 90 days online.
90 days is a long time now.
Online.
Yeah, that's a long
time. You're not even working with anyone in real life.
I saw, no joke, a weekend course.
To go from zero to personal trainer. And
Promise you.
This is a problem. This is what the industry's become. Yeah. So it was a certified course, right? So it was an approved course by the governing bodies, right? Because there's so many now. That's the problem. And of course, Joe Public, like if you pick something you don't know anything about, like you've got some really weird thing wrong with your car, you go to a garage, you assume that the mechanic knows what he's doing.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't think, okay, but this guy's got a different mechanics qualification to this guy, so he's better.
Okay, so why do out of shape personal trainers have clients?
I think because people feel comfortable with them.
I do as well. Yeah, I think there's a weird insecurity kind of blocker there of like, he's not going to push me that hard and he's not going to demand too much of me because he's not in good shape himself.
It's the safety zone thing again, isn't it? It's not wanting to be, it's wanting to do something but not wanting to do something.
Yeah. What's your theory around personal trainers that are out of shape? Like, can they still be good coaches? So, because if you move to like the boxing world, you've got like your Freddie Roach who's got Parkinson's. Still a genius. You've got like your Customato, what's his name?
Customato,
Customato, that little old man.
Yeah.
And they can't box now, but they're great coaches.
They've got the knowledge.
They've got the knowledge. Yeah. So like, where do you stand with like personal trainers who have been out of shape?
What you said. What have those two guys got in common? They're old men.
Yeah.
Right. Freddie Roach has got a neurological condition.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Eddie Jones in rugby, not in great shape. Little bit of a belly.
Rugby's a bit of a different setup, isn't it? So
okay.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
All right, let's go down the personal training route, because personal trainers, especially people who are trying to teach people how to get in better health.
So if you're a personal trainer and I'm going to say in your 20s and 30s, but there's no age limit on this, and you're asking people to live a certain way and to do a certain thing, then you've got to do that yourself. I see trainers' social media profiles. You look at it and it just looks like they're just out partying all the time. You can't see any evidence of them actually training or training other people. And I think you've got to have some sort of credibility, and a lot of that credibility comes from how you behave yourself. Right? You can't. Would you go to bad example? Would you go to a hairdresser who had bad hair? You wouldn't, right?
No.
You employ a mechanic and you see his car coming down the street with the exhaust hanging off and like clouds of smoke coming out of it. You're not really going to trust that guy to fix your car, right? Uh-huh. But I think in fitness, there's a massive abdication of responsibility that as soon as someone claims to have some sort of authority as knowledge, people then pay credence to that. So anyone who says they're a trainer, and I'll say the same about any health profession. If you're a doctor and you look like shit and you're weak, you've got no business telling people they need to go to a gym and exercise and clean their diet up. If you don't go to a gym and you eat shit all day, it's the same thing. If you're expecting people to follow your advice, you've got to, if that's good advice, why aren't you doing it yourself?
Well, I think that's why the pharma world is doing so well right now, because it's much more accepted for a doctor who's out of shape to say, take these tablets for your diabetes, instead of actually getting a handle on your weight and eating well, because they really can't fucking say much now.
Yeah, exactly. You've got lifestyle problems that are treated by not adjusting your lifestyle, which makes no sense.
Well, look at the government guidelines on how to eat. It's atrocious.
Yeah, man. Yeah. If you look at the NHS and exercise as well.
NHS is like,
if
you want the worst food possible, stay in hospital for a week. Yeah. You will be fed dog shit and then cake and ice and custard. I remember having a client who was in there. She needed to lose a lot of weight to have her knees done. And they were feeding us like foods that, like, I think it was jam roly-poly with custard shad after a sandwich with a cup of tea and a biscuit.
Why are they even making that? It's like,
dude, it's absolutely insane. But yeah, I kind of sat back and thought, like, you know, whose fault is it? Is it the gym's fault, or is it the manager's fault, or is it the trainer's fault? Like, why is it so accepting that trainers have such poor standards? They can't even get themselves in shape, let alone their clients. It's like, because I didn't know anything when I first started training with you. But
I'm well aware of that, mate.
Yeah, no, it's fucking true. But my results,
drive me mad with your fucking questions.
My results were pretty, like, they were way above my knowledge set. So for fat loss and stuff, it's not that hard.
It's not hard, is it? It's not difficult. No.
One, you just have to, like, have some energy about you, and, like, care and put some effort into them. But like that can go a long way. Just like being up for it.
Yeah.
But it's not that hard to be a good trainer.
But I say to people all the time, people come to me and they'll say, I mean, I don't train one-to-one anymore. I do very, very select one-to-one training. There's very few people that I work with. I have a really quite a long-winded selection process before I work with anyone one-to-one, because most people don't need one-to-one training, right? If you come to me and you say, oh God, put 3 stone on during lockdown, I need a trainer. You don't. You need either a nutritionist, or you need to just start acting like an adult. You didn't put 3 stone on by not training. So starting to train isn't going to reverse that process. It's going to have a positive effect on you, and long term it's going to lead to that. But there are other problems there that you need to address.
That you don't think you can fix?
I can fix, but it's not my job to fix it. I don't want to be writing someone a diet plan. I don't want to be asking someone how many calories they've had to eat today.
I can't remember the last time I did a diet.
Right, that's not my job. It's not what I want to do. If I wanted to do that, I'd be a nutritionist.
Yeah.
But I've got no interest in telling a fucking adult that he shouldn't eat McDonald's and ice cream, you know?
But nutritionists now is starting to resemble the personal training world. There are so many nutritionists out of shape, so many nutritionists who give out really poor advice, man. I don't know where the fuck it comes from. I think more of it is like, you know, are you a vegan or vegetarian?
Vegetarian, yeah.
Right. Veganism's taken over quite a lot.
Yeah.
So the problem is, like, a lot of nutritionists are sharing just their views of doing everything. And for me, there's not one way to eat.
I've got a client who's a vegan. I was talking to him the other day. The problem with veganism is, purely from a nutritional point of view, you've got to eat a lot of calories to get enough protein.
Yeah.
Right? Especially as a man, right?
Yeah.
I don't mean that in any sort of hormonal or sexist way, just on the basis that you probably weigh more.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're a 90 kilo man and you want, I don't know, 150, 180 grams of protein a day, that's a lot of calories. Because I got him to go through, you know, he was just going through, I've had this for lunch. And then he'd done it himself. He looked at the calories to protein content, and he was realizing that, you know, to get that many calories, basically he's just eating tons of calories to get to that protein target.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people misinterpret what they need to do. Is what's the advice you get when you want to go vegan? What's the advice everyone gives you? Or you need to eat nuts to get your protein. Nuts are a fucking fat source, dude. They happen to be quite high in protein, but they're extremely high in fat as well. So if you're getting all your protein suddenly from nuts, you know, that's a massive ramp up.
You'd have to eat thousands of calories,
right?
It's
a massive ramp up. You might as well just, like, you know, eat a tub of peanut butter all day, you know, just, which I know, you know, Bobby Maximus, that's what he did to put on weight when he was younger. He just used to walk around with a tub of peanut butter eating it all day. Yeah, he used to go through a tub every day to put weight on.
But people think that's protein.
He wanted to do that to put weight on.
Yeah.
That's why he did it. Not just to get protein. And people, I think if you're going to veganism or vegetarianism for moral reasons, that's fine. But I think if you're going into it purely for health reasons, I think you need to have a serious look at how you're doing it.
Yeah, I'm with you on
not like
that
a throwaway thing.
So that means it's principle for you, right?
Yeah, I mean,
sure.
Yeah, it's just, I love animals, right?
Yeah.
If I was on a desert island with a dog and a human, I would kill the human. Me and the dog would eat the human until help arrived. Wouldn't kill the dog.
I thought you were going to say then of course I'd kill the dog.
No, I wouldn't kill the dog. I love dogs.
Okay.
But no, I think if you're doing it for, it's like I see people like, oh, I eat gluten-free for health. The only reason you should eat gluten-free is if you're gluten intolerant.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a healthy lifestyle. Yeah. There's so many additives and chemicals in gluten-free stuff.
Yeah.
It tastes like shit, by the way. If you've had gluten-free bread, it's vile.
Yeah.
Right. But don't convince yourself that you're doing it for health, because you're not.
Yeah.
But so going back to the original point, I knew this would happen. This is like a Grandpa Simpson story in itself again. I think if people want to come to me because they specifically need my knowledge, right? They need in-depth kettlebell knowledge, in-depth erg knowledge. They're athletes and they want to get to a specific point. I'll train people that are doing certifications. Joe Public doesn't need me. Yeah. Joe Public, if he just wants someone to make sure he's at the gym every day, he just needs fat dads for £20 an hour from Pure Gym, you know, and I don't want to get involved in that market.
Fat dads.
Other PTs are available, not promoting fat dads as a PT. But do you know what I'm saying? That's not.
There's a fat dads at most gyms as well, isn't there?
Yeah. Remember Chunks?
Yeah. Yeah.
Big. I can't say his last name because he's listening. You know the other guy. Yeah. But yeah, people don't need me for that, and that's not what I want to do. I don't want to work with someone I don't want to be a babysitter. If you're coming to me because you need accountability, that's ridiculous, dude. Like, that is fucking ridiculous. Like, you shouldn't be paying me what I charge an hour, which is a lot, just to make sure you turn up. That's insane. If that's what you want, you can probably get an app that does that for you, where some guy sits in an office all day and goes, "Oh, you haven't trained today. Here's your little warning." So
I agree, and I kind of don't.
Model is quite flawed, I think.
Yeah, but then there's a weird thing, like, I don't know whether the word's accountability, but for example, when I was thinking about getting this kettlebell, I was like, "You're the man I come to, right?" Yeah. It's kind of nice to know that your presence is there. It's not accountability. I can't think what it is. I was going to
say, why would you come to me? For my knowledge, right? Not to make sure you do kettlebells.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I know you'll tell me the right things to do.
Yeah.
And I will do them.
Whereas if you just want to exercise, if you just want to attend a gym 3 times a week because you've seen some government guideline that says you should do 20 minutes of training 3 times a week, whatever the NHS guidelines are. Yeah. Basically below maintenance levels for anyone who's reasonably fit. If that's all you need, to be honest, you might as well go to a class. I think the whole personal training model is flawed, and I think what people expect from personal trainers, they're not necessarily going to deliver. And then people don't expect them to do so much because they see them not delivering, and then the standards of everything just gets lower and lower and lower.
I'm not sure people are even clear on what personal trainers do nowadays. So a lot of personal trainers are life coaches now at the same time.
Don't get me started.
So, do you know what I mean? So it's difficult to know what a role, and you have to get this clear, I guess, with your clients from the off. But there are a lot of very successful in terms of like eyes on, like, you know, Instagram and Facebook about what a personal trainer does. Yeah, because they do give out a lot of life advice.
I mean, you could argue that they're a personal trainer, and that experience needs to be personal to what you need from them, and that's fine. But then if people are coming to me for that, and I'm openly going to say to them, that's not what I'm here for. It's not what. End of the day, it's not what I want to do. So if you come to me and say, I'm having trouble getting up early in the morning and I can't stick to a plan, and I can't stop eating ice cream in the evening. I'm actually describing someone now, by the way, who I know, but it's not Alex for anyone listening. Right, that's fine, but I don't want to work with you because I don't get any sort of buzz off stopping you eating ice cream in the evening. That's me being really selfish, but I'm not a public service.
Not selfish. I think that's integrity, like, because you could take the money, and run with it, and just tell them it's their fault because they can't get out of bed.
This is what I say to people in the coaching circle all the time: is that you need to be clear about what you want to do.
See, I like that client.
I know you do. Yeah, I know. Because you get a buzz out of that, right? You get a buzz out of that, and I just think, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Oh, I kind of like. There's a little voice that says that too, but I kind of like that was me. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So I can relate to that.
I was talking to someone about this the other day, that when Shell was younger, my wife, she used to hate sport and stuff, right? So she gets when people don't like exercise, right? Yeah. She gets when people can't do things because she's been through that journey herself. Now she's kick-ass, right? But she's been through all that, not liking it, not being good at it. We've all not been good at stuff, but I mean, the fact that you don't like it and you're not good at it is different to, as we said earlier, different to liking it and wanting to be better at it. It's a different mindset.
Sure.
She's been through all that. And when I'm coaching people, when I was coaching people, I'm like, you know, what do you mean you can't tell your back's flat? Why can't you engage your core? I'm just like, what is wrong with you? Like, I don't want to deal with this. This is a babysitting issue. You know, I don't want to deal with this. Like, you know, if you're not even vaguely physically competent, don't come to me.
Yeah.
Unless there's a reason. I train a guy who's got Parkinson's. I train a girl who's got MS. You know, they need specialist knowledge.
Sure.
So I'll work with them.
Yeah.
Their physical issues are not physical issues that are created by sitting on your ass for 10 years, not doing any exercise, not taking responsibility for yourself. Yeah. So, it's a different thing. And I think as I've got older, and that's why I've gone the way I've gone with what we do now. All we do now is like workshops, certifications, and the group stuff. So I don't really want to work one-to-one with people, because like I say, the people that I work one-to-one with, it's online and it's programming, and I'll work with people that I know are going to follow the program.
Yeah.
And what they need from me, again, is my knowledge.
Yeah, but again, that's a great skill to have as a trainer, where you go, this is the small number of people I want to work with, and I'm brave enough to say it out loud.
Yeah.
And if you don't fit that criteria, that's cool. Go somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And we need more people like that. We need, because people are claiming to have the answers to everything and solve everything. So I'm like, dude, if you can't get your ass out of bed, but are committed to changing that, come and see me.
Yeah. And that's if someone comes to me like that, I'd send them to you.
Yeah.
Right. And if someone came to you that I want to do a kettlebell certification, you'd send them to me.
Yeah.
Problem with the fitness industry is that there's too many people around that will just say yes to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. Can't get out of bed, let me help you. Oh, you need to learn kettlebells, let me help you. Oh, Olympic lifting, yeah, I can teach you that.
Yeah, Olympic lifting is a big one. I'm like,
yeah,
do you know how complex that shit is?
So many people teach that, and they can't even do it.
I think they do it on day courses now. Like, come and learn how to do an overhead.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
snatch. I'm like, really?
Yeah,
in a day, and you can't even squat properly.
So there's guys that I would recommend for that, but it's not me, it's not you. No offense, but
no,
you know that, right?
And the more kind of like longer I play the game, I must admit it does become more difficult to remember what it was like to be somebody like that.
Yeah.
So like, for example, my latest thing where I'm struggling is with guys who aren't motivated.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, the day you wait until you're motivated to do everything is like, it's not going to frigging happen. Like, you can't just go to the gym the day you're motivated. Yeah. So I'm struggling with that, because I'm like, we should know that as a human.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're not. Shell says this to people. You're not motivated to brush your teeth, right?
Yeah.
Or like,
you just fucking
do it. You're not motivated to sleep at night. You have to do it. It's like,
what is that? Do you think it's like a struggle for greater purpose? Like,
it's getting deep now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought we were just going to do some jokes and.
But when some guys go, well, I don't really give a fuck. I know how it's going to end. I'm like, I'm all right now. So I've got my comforts. Like, why would I purposely go and put myself through fucking hard times?
So this is the thing that we say to people on the mission, right? You live in a society now where all your survival needs as a human, how you're designed to function, your survival needs are based around hunting things and running away from things, right? You've got to chase something and kill it, or you've got to run the fuck away from it and climb up a tree. Now, all our survival needs can be met without getting out of a chair, right? You can order shopping, you can order takeout, you might have to walk to the door to collect it, you can do all your work from a laptop at home. All our survival needs are just reduced to laziness, basically. And that's the mindset that a lot of people have had from the outset. And I don't know why people like you and me, it's because I'm old and because we didn't have all this technology when I was a kid, but for you, who's a young man in his mid-30s, I'm pulling a face. What's motivated you, and what motivates, I know, younger people that have the same mindset as us, what motivates them to be normal, as I think, as opposed to following the herd? I don't know that. I think the reason for that herd mentality, laziness, is the fact that we've created a society where people can be lazy.
Yeah, and I don't think there's too big a consequence now. So the thing that drove me...
That's it, 100%. There's no consequence for being lazy until it's too late and you realise, shit, I've got diabetes, or I'm potentially at risk of this, and this because of how I've lived my life.
But if you're government, for example, would you rather have like everyone lazy and compliant?
That's exactly what the government want.
Or would you rather have like stand-up guys that've got their own opinions, do their own thing?
You know the answer to this. You're just baiting me now.
For sure. But I'm like, it makes sense. Like, they don't... it might be a burden on fucking NHS and a bit of a drip. But apart from that, like, compliant guys to do what they're told are a good thing for the government.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, the reason the NHS is worse and worse every year, you can talk about funding all you want, but that funding is having to pay for more and more treatment every year, because 50 years ago... if you got ill and you needed NHS treatment, basically it was because you were unlucky, because you've been in an accident, like the guy we were talking to earlier. Now, so many conditions that the NHS is having to spend money and time on are, I'm going to say, self-inflicted, even though that's harsh.
Well, the obesity
or they're avoidable, right? They're avoidable. Maybe not self-inflicted. No one does it on purpose, but they're avoidable.
Well, the latest stat was that 80% of cancers are now related to obesity.
So how avoidable is that? So 80% of cancer treatment in the NHS, it's actually avoidable.
I know.
And that's something that 50 years ago they weren't having to cope with in terms of numbers.
Okay. Without being like brutal, like we're taking away, like how do you start to create cultural change then? Of like, actually it's more normal now to be out of shape than it is in. So like how do you get to that point where most guys are fit,
It's
healthy,
basically
strong?
just reverse what's happened, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because that used to be, I mean, you look at stuff from, you look at the Second World War, I know there's rationing, but 1930s, 1940s, you see a picture of a beach in the 1930s, everyone looks in shape. No one trained.
Yeah.
They don't look jacked, but they look like runners. You know,
I think we've got fatter as the decades have passed. I think there's enough data to back that up.
Yeah, plate sizes have got bigger. Like,
Yep.
how you reverse that without imposing some sort of draconian measures, I don't know. Bear in mind, we've got a government that's struggled to stop people being alcoholic or smoking. You know, they can't even impose measures on that will efficiently stop it. So to then try and do something like that, to impose it, I think is going to be impossible. It's an education thing, but where do you start that education? So there's nutrition education that goes on in schools. I know this now, so I've got 3 children at primary school, and it's not correct, right? It's not right. It's like, you know, one of our boys came home the other day and he said something, just throw away. He was just having a laugh. He said, oh, you shouldn't eat fat because it makes you fat. I'm like, no, eating fat doesn't make you fat. Like, eating fat's something your body needs.
And he learnt that from school?
Yeah.
It's shocking, man.
Now, bear in mind, he's 8, right? So he might have misinterpreted what's been said.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be presented in a way that it can be misinterpreted because they know they're talking to 8-year-olds.
Yeah.
Right? So it should be a lot clearer than that. It's got to be done through education, but that education's got to be right. Who's in charge of the education? What authorities are in charge of that? What coaches did the NHS go to when they put these nonsense exercise guidelines on their website?
Well, did you see the latest health secretary? Do you have any fucking faith in this government?
No, not at all. No.
And the worst thing is, I don't have any faith in a potentially new government that takes over.
Nothing will change.
So
I think
I'm like,
nothing will change externally. But again, this is part of the problem: is that people will sit around and wait for something external to change rather than initiate that change internally. So the people you work with, you're the external instigator. But if they don't take that on board and then carry it on internally, it's going to fail.
Yeah.
Right? You can only do so much for them.
Yeah, you're right. It's really upsetting, man. So have a look around. There's an air of like defeatism around. Like it's just normal now for us to just, I don't know, live a pretty average, miserable life and then just fucking die. And I'm like, do you want to be strong and do something good, or do you want to be weak and just fucking rot away in your home?
Yeah.
Which is what a lot of guys do. Part of me feels sorry for them, but part of me doesn't have any empathy either because I'm like, it's under your control. But I kind of get the deeper purpose of like, what's the point? I do get that.
Yeah.
I do understand that question of like, why would I bother? I'm only here for 8 years. I'm just going to fucking kick back and.
But are you enjoying yourself?
But does that matter?
Kick back and enjoying yourself?
Does it matter? This is what I'm saying. Does it matter? Like, because a guy could argue, well, I enjoy myself when I'm doing sled pulls and chin ups, am I?
Well, he should be.
But I do get.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean?
An extreme example, but
I think it's hard to get started I think you've really got to taste what it's like to be fit, strong, and healthy. To understand, that's why I should have done it.
Yeah, I think. But once you get that buzz, once you get that endorphin rush off your first or second or third workout, then I think, that should hopefully that keeps a lot of people going. But
it is. But that's replaced by like a better life, like you with your kids, for example. You're like, it's a better life for you and them.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, I don't want to be the dad that can't go swimming with his kids or can't go out running with his kids or whatever, But
that's not enough to motivate a lot of men. Like, there's a lot of things they're missing out on with their kids, and it's still not enough to motivate them to get into good shape. Like, I see a dad, like, I try not to be judgmental, but I'm sorry, I'm a human, I am. I see dads take their kids swimming at the pool, and dad is terribly overweight, and the kids are showing the same signs at like 6.
Yeah.
And I just feel sorry for the kids. I'm like, fucking what chance have they got when they're 15?
Kids haven't got a chance, that's the thing. And that's why even if you start that education now, you're probably 2 or 3 generations away from it changing, because the generation that you educate now is still being controlled by the generation that hasn't had the education, right? So you're looking at 2 or 3 generations before that will change.
Well, that's what you do, right? As a man, you try and create a better next generation, don't you?
Yeah.
And the way that you do that is to improve the self.
Yeah.
So I've had to deal with a lot of shit. Hopefully, if I have kids, they won't have to deal with some of the shit that I have to deal with.
Yeah.
They'll still be strong and courageous, but it's like I'm making better generations.
Yeah, exactly.
Not worse. Or
exactly. Yeah, because you're giving them the benefit of your experience and your knowledge, and they're still going to screw up. Trust me, they're still going to make mistakes.
But maybe that's the answer to how you reverse things. It's like you create better kids, and they create better kids. But you create better men, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, from the better kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a hard road, isn't it? When you look around, who's creating these better kids now?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. That's the root problem.
Yeah, which is kind of brings me back to like all you can do to make this world a better place is to work on yourself and make yourself strong and as kind and as courageous as you can be.
Yeah, and I think that's the other reason. Again, just to go away from one-to-one training, is that if I can run groups, I can get more people in. You can get your message out to more people. If I can train online, I'm training people in Saudi Arabia, in America, in Europe. So I'm spreading that message that we think is the right message much more widely now, thanks to technology, even though I hate technology. But I think the more people you can send that message out to, the better it is.
Yeah, definitely.
I think, but then the whole thing's a circle. We need more people sending that message out.
Yeah.
And that's where the whole the Fit Pro education thing comes in. That if you and I were running a course for a personal trainer, it would look unrecognizable from the courses that they actually...
So cool, though, wouldn't it?
It would, wouldn't it? Yeah. But it'd be unrecognizable from the courses that they actually attend. And that's what we're doing the coaching circle, to actually give people this knowledge that they don't get on their PT courses, you know?
Yeah, PT should be given a challenge that they need to achieve before they get that.
That's a great idea.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you can only do 25 chin-ups in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, until you can do 100 and prove that you can progress yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, something like that.
I like that. Yeah. That's how RKC works, right? So that we have this physical standards. It's not just about being, having the knowledge. It's about being able to apply that and being able to, like, if you know how to do a kettlebell swing, but you can't demonstrate it, virtually, it's not impossible, but it's very, very hard to teach that then. So if you can't maintain those same standards that you're trying to pass on to other people, and you're right, they're not assessed at all on any sort of...
The great thing about communities like RKC is, like, if you meet another RKC instructor, there's an immediate bond, connection, respect.
100%, yeah.
Because you go, he passed the standard too.
Yeah.
And I like that in communities and groups.
And we're all friends. We've got a WhatsApp group, and we'll chat to each other. We're having a get together for all the RKCs in the UK. We're having a get together, all coming up to Warwickshire this July, and we're just having a get together for everyone.
Amazing.
And just because we're all buddies, and part of the problem with fitness as well is the culture around it, that you're not meant to be buddies. When you're PTs in the gym, right, everyone's your enemy, everyone's your rival,
like that,
right?
Back in the day,
you don't want it. So what happens then? So the guy who's a little bit more experienced, he wants to keep that knowledge to himself, so he doesn't pass it on to other people. And he keeps it to himself, and then the other people don't get that knowledge. They have a watered down level of skill. Someone else new comes in, then the guy who's not good in the first place is not even passing on the good things that he knows to the person who's even worse than him.
Yeah.
And if what we do with RKC, it's a very inclusive environment. We want to pass on our skills to people. We want people to know how to do things properly, because we only want good trainers representing us. And if your training room, Future Fit, name any training company you can think of, they should have that same ethos. They should think, are we happy when this guy goes into a gym that someone knows that he's been certified by us? And I don't think they care. I think they just want money.
No, they don't. But I think that's a bit blind now. Like, I don't see the trainers go, I wonder what training company they came from. Like, I don't think that.
Yeah.
I think it might be a bit different in the kettlebell world. Perhaps.
Yeah, it's very different. Yeah,
yeah, it is. Like, if you're a personal trainer here, you're a personal trainer.
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking matter. Like, you go to the cheapest qualification you can get, the fastest, and then boom.
Yeah.
And then you're off. So there's no real stat. But standards, mate, are so important.
But how about, right? Let's go back to you and I being a gym manager. How about you said you've got a team of 5 personal trainers, right? And you said you guys are all going to get a 10% bonus if all of you as a group hit this target figure. So then it's in my interest, right, for me to give you a client if it's someone that I can't deal with, because that's going to contribute to that target figure, right? So then you encourage like knowledge sharing. So it's not a difficult thing to do.
No, and it was something I got right when I started, what was our gym called? Fitness First.
Yeah.
I looked around.
Is this the thing you got right? I've been wondering about it for years.
Well, I went in and I think there was about 8 trainers at the time. I looked around and was like, okay, he's the best. So, I dug you out and I was like, I'm going to annoy the shit out of him until I can...
Mate, you did an awesome job.
Yeah, until like, and I was picking your brains and I'd come to you and I'd go...
You're like a little shadow. Like, I'd turn around and I
wanted to learn, man.
But that time I was in the toilet. That was weird.
I wanted to learn. So I was like, I did a really good thing there. What I didn't do well was pass it down to any new trainers that came in. I was very threatened at first because I was very insecure about what I was doing. But it's weird. Like the RKC thing reminds me of, like, they always say that men and people, basically, they really bond over struggle. So I did a retreat a few weeks ago where you go off into the woods for like 4.5 days on your own, no food, no watch, nothing. You just sit there. And like you start as a group, you split off, and then you come back and you meet. And because did
you fast 4.5 days?
110 hours.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. Because all of your other colleagues have done it. Like there's this weird bonding thing.
Yeah, straight away as soon as you come back. Yeah.
Oh, you went and suffered too.
You went through the same experience. Yeah.
And it's like that. And training's a great thing to bond guys. Like you get 4 guys, like we used to do. We did it at your place, and we did it at Fitness First.
Yeah.
When we had the keys, we used to lock the door at the end of it was about 10 p.m. It shut.
Friday night, yeah.
Friday night, and we used to go. We're going to do the most disgusting fucking foul session ever.
Oh, and they were as well.
They were, but we
awful.
loved them.
Yeah.
And it was like the 4 of us, and we got really close, and we loved training together because we would do a workout that 99% of other guys
we'd literally just we'd like, let's do this exercise. What's the worst possible thing we could do after that? Right, let's do it.
Yeah. In fact, we used to take it in turns to create the workout. Do you remember? It'd be like, it's what was general? The generals. then it was robot, and then we had croc and goat. And that was it. So we'd create those workouts, but that's what I mean. You kind of do. I'm wondering whether guys are missing out on these bonds, because a lot of guys say they don't have any friends, and I'm like, well, maybe it's because you stay at home watching Netflix all the time.
And that's what. Sorry to keep going back to that. That's what we're doing with the mission, because I used to run the Spartan project, which was group. I used to call it group personal training, right? But it was proper personal training. Yeah. So everyone in that group would have an individualized program. Yeah. Right. Now that's great for them because they're getting basically knowledge straight from my brain, personalized for them. Yeah. And that's, sorry, just to go on a little bit of a sidetrack, pisses me off no end when people say they do group PT and all they do is a glorified class, right? You're doing the same as everyone else. You might as well go to some place in Coventry that does rubbish circuits. Someone mentioned his name. Right, you might as well do that, yeah? Or their names, because there's more than one. But we used to do proper group PT, like everyone had an individualized program. That was great, but it meant everyone used to come in their own little world. Guys were coming in earbuds, earphones, because all they're doing is their own shit. So what we do with the mission is everyone's doing not necessarily the same thing, but they're all working towards the same goal. Yeah. So it's personalized in that, someone might be doing a 2K row, someone might only be doing a 1K row because he can't do a 2K yet and he's building up to it. Yeah. But everyone's going through that same experience of like feeling like they want to die on a rower, for instance. Yeah. And I think you're right, as a bonding thing, it's like you guys out in the woods. Yeah. That's an awesome thing to do. And you're right, people don't have a massive circle of friends anymore. I haven't got a massive circle of friends, but how often do me and you see each other?
Not often.
Right, and you're not even my friend.
But it's the kind of friendship where 3 years. But also, do you remember how else we used to bond?
Dude, not on air.
Do you remember our lunch breaks on a Friday afternoon? We used to go and fight.
Yeah.
We used to go and put the gloves on and punch each other.
Yeah. Sorry, can we specify that we didn't used to go out in the car park and
Yeah. That's like I said, let's keep that quiet. But yeah, we used to put the gloves on. I remember knocking your tooth out. I remember you busting my nose wide open.
Yeah.
And then we'd go.
Great day.
It was amazing. But then we'd go and have a cup of tea and some food.
Yeah. And that's it. People don't do that anymore, do they?
No, mate. No.
I'm not saying people should go and pick a fight with their next door neighbour. But
there's a weird bonding, like I say, that happens for it. Definitely. No, there is.
Yeah. And I think that bringing people together and giving them a common purpose, which is what you do with the Better Man, right? And that's what we want to do now with the mission, just giving them the fact that we're going to throw them into an environment that they don't know what to expect in 8 weeks' time. It focuses you on what you've got to work for, right? Because I think the problem with a lot of people's training is that it has no purpose, right? So even once you get out of that rut and you get yourself into the gym, if your purpose is just to train or to get more toned or to be fitter, eventually you're going to fall off the wagon, right? Because you're on a wagon there and it's that getting fitter wagon. What we give people now is a specific goal. Is what you give people. You give people, look, you've got to get out of bed and do 10 push-ups every day, right? Yeah. Don't just get out of bed and try and be fitter that day, because that's bullshit. Yeah. Give some specifics, right? Which is exactly what you do, and that's what we're doing. But I think there's too much that just the exercise is the goal. And the exercise is the starting point, but then that's got to lead somewhere.
Yeah, that's what a purpose is, really. It's a priority. And if you've got people that are sharing the same priorities, it's very powerful.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So we've got 30 guys in the Better Man now, and it's like that's 30 guys. Yeah, mate. It is awesome.
You're going on a UK tour, right? Did I see that?
Yeah. Well, I've got clients all over the place. And it ticks one of my selfish needs of I love getting in the car and driving down the motorway and training at different gyms.
Getting off out on your own. Like,
yeah. Well, I got really down about 6 months ago. I was like, I'm spending so much time on my laptop.
Yeah.
It's not me. So I was like, and then I went and did this retreat thing, and that fucking opened my eyes to a load of things. So I came back and I'm like, well, I'm going to go and see every single one of my clients. And they're in Southampton.
Awesome.
They're in fucking I'm in Barnsley in a couple of weeks. That'll be fun. Then York. So I did. I wonder
if I could instigate the system and get it past Shell, because I've got a client in California, I've got a client in New York. I don't know if I get away with it.
It's a great way of like, I'm like, if you've got certain values in your life and you can tick all those boxes in one smart way. So I get to travel, I get to coach, I get to train, and everyone's happy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I earn money from it. I'm like, that's pretty smart.
But that's massive purpose, isn't it? And that's what people don't. People think their purpose is to leave school, to get a job, to do their 9 to 5 for 40 years, and then to retire. 40 years of salted tears, as Scroobius Pip would say.
Yeah.
We'll hashtag him in this. He loves training.
Okay.
Did you find a Scroobius Pip? Yeah, he does CrossFit, does kettlebells.
So I don't know anything or anyone.
Apart from the CrossFit, he's all right.
I'm so out of touch with everything.
Mate, he's not even a new artist, right? It's been around for years. Anyway,
okay. Well, that's how much I know.
Yeah, so people have no purpose. So I was talking. One of my online people got an elbow problem. Right, it's been going on since before I trained him, and I set up an appointment. I've got a friend called Dan Ripley, does NKT therapy. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
Kinetic therapy. So if you've got an injury, fuck your physio and your massage girl. Just not literally. Find someone that does NKT. Let's say my friend Dan Ripley does it. My friend Marquetta does it up north. It's so what they'll find is the root cause of the problem.
Uh-huh.
So my client got this elbow problem. Been going to a physio that's been treating her elbow for about a year. To a massage girl that told her to do wrist curls. All this sort of nonsense, right? And then Dan's found something core related that's actually the root cause of the problem, right? It's awesome stuff. But anyway, I set up this appointment for this guy on this date, and he's gone, oh, I can't go because I've got a meeting at work. Well, just tell him you're not going. It's like really simple. Like, you're an adult. Your health surely is a priority over sitting around a desk for 4 hours, being bored for something that doesn't really matter to anyone except the guys right at the top of your company that potentially are going to make more money out of you long term.
Yeah.
Just take responsibility for yourself. Put yourself first. Your goal should not be to just fucking brown nose at work, right? Your goal is to be a better version of yourself. If you think that's achieved by kissing ass at work and getting a 3% pay rise every 4 years, well, you need to shift your priorities because that's not right.
Yeah,
you're laughing at me now, aren't you?
No, I think you're.
I've gone off on a rant now. Like,
No, I love it. Yeah, I kind of like. I struggle to articulate that, but yeah, you're right. I see people literally kill themselves for companies like JLR.
JLR is a classic. So many people do unpaid overtime. When lockdown came, boom, off you go. We're not looking after you. You've looked after us, but we're not looking after you.
Because they get rewarded. They get rewarded for busting their ass for not getting paid, but then they're often the first people that get chopped as well. There is, you're a number at companies like that.
No one cares.
I can't believe people sacrifice their own health to climb a corporate ladder.
Yeah.
In which, like you say, could be replaced.
Especially if you're a parent, if you've got kids, your kids don't care that you've got a pat on the back from your boss when you're home after bedtime and they haven't seen you for 24 hours. It's ridiculous.
No, kids, like you say, they must change the game. Hopefully I'll experience it one day, but I know when I was a kid, you just want time. That's all you want with your folks. You don't give a fuck whether they're fucking senior at JLR or fucking at the bottom of the pile. Like, if you're spending time with your mum and dad and that, that's all you want, you know? So,
although I do think there's a case for bringing back that old, my dad's stronger than your dad in the school playground.
Oh, I ain't heard that.
I don't think you get that anymore.
Do you not get that?
I don't think
my dad's stronger than your dad.
When you tell them, do you know what? I'm going to send the boys. I'm going to send the kids to school and instigate that system.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But do you remember that? People used to be proud. Kids, when you were a kid, you were proud. With me, my dad was 6'8", because my dad's taller than your dad.
Yeah.
I was well proud of that, even though, no credit to him. It's just how he was born.
Yeah, my dad's harder than your dad as well.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, my dad would beat your dad in a fight. Yeah. My dad can do 44 keepy uppies. People don't do that anymore. I don't hear kids bragging about what their parents do anymore, because their parents all do the same shit. They go and sit at a desk all day. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
My dad works more hours than your dad.
Yeah. As a parent, you just make your kid proud of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Do some crazy shit that other dads can't do. Tell your kid that it's crazy. Make them go and brag about it. Let's do that. Start a mission to get people bragging about their dads again.
Mate, there's so much work to be done. There's so much work to be done. What we do well, hopefully, is we do the work. I like to think we practice what we preach.
Yeah, anyway. Maybe that's the starting point, man. Just get kids in school bragging about their dads. You've got to find something about your dad to brag about. If you can't, your dad's got to give you something to brag about, or your mum.
Yeah. Well, no, that's do you know what? With all jokes aside, you should give your kids reasons to be proud of you.
Absolutely.
And I think being strong and fit and healthy is a fucking absolute blessing that you can give your kids if you're doing that.
And what I need to do, our kids come to the gym with us, they don't even think it's a big deal.
You still got summer?
Yeah.
Sure. Right?
The whole family, the dog, the kids, we all come to the gym. Yeah.
German Shepherd?
Shepherd Husky cross.
Shepherd Husky.
Yeah. I'll send you a picture. You can share it on your page on Instagram. Yeah.
Cool. I've been eyeing German Shepherd up.
Oh, yeah.
I love them. They're badasses, isn't they? But I love travelling too, mate. I'm stuck.
You take it with you. Summer comes everywhere. I mean, I nearly brought her today, actually. Summer comes everywhere.
Yeah, I think was she just chilling here? Mate, people bring their dogs all the time.
She was just chilling here. The trouble is there. See how that dog's just walked past the window?
Would she want to eat it?
Yeah. Yeah, she's got a very high prey drive.
All right.
But yeah, our kids and our dog, they just come to the gym and they play.
Yeah.
Like Seth, who's 8, he came to me. I went to train the other day. I said, "Oh, do you want to come with me, mate?" Because he was looking bored. He went, "Yeah." He did box jumps. He did TRX rows. What else did he do? He did some ball slams.
Yeah.
He's just playing. He did a brilliant workout, just out of his own brain, just from watching us what we do, and then just thinking he's playing. So that's another route that maybe the whole PE model in schools is fucking flawed. What's the point in fucking rounders, Alex? Why do kids play rounders at school? It's bullshit. Get them to do some proper movement. Get them to do some bear crawls. Get them to do some push-ups. Get them to do some pull-ups, Like, get them to do real-life training stuff that then won't feel like training, because PE is fun, right? Because you don't have to sit in a classroom. Make it fun. Make them want to do it.
Do you know what I would do, though? It's probably not fun. If I was in charge of school standards, I'd bring in some military guys to do PE.
Like it.
Push-ups, sit-ups.
Yeah,
I would. Fun as well. Like, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But a bit like boxing. When you teach kids how to box, that discipline.
And they love that. Yeah.
Respect. I
think they just started doing karate. Keisho Karate in Coventry. She loves it. Brilliant karate school. She absolutely loves it. She goes 3 times a week and she loves it. And it's not her doing a thing or learning something. She just thinks it's fun.
Yeah.
The guy that teaches it is a great teacher, and he makes it all fun for them. And that's the thing. So
fun's massively important
for
all ages.
If you made PE like that, it's not like, oh shit, I forgot my kit, I've got to do it in my vest and pants and do laps of the field, like fuck that. Just make it fun for kids to do.
No, you're right. You are right. What I love about like the discipline sports is like when you're doing like Shotokan or martial arts or BJJ, like discipline, it is fun. You get fit, you get strong. You can't take the piss either. You can be quite easily put in your place, so you learn respect that way. But yeah, fun is, like you say, that sounds like a great day at the gym with your kids and your dog. And no, I like that, mate.
Just hang out, and but for them now growing up, they don't say, "Oh, I've got to go to the gym." It's I'm just going to go to the gym. Yeah, exactly.
That's how it should be, man.
Yeah.
What's next for you then? I know the mission's coming up. Is there anything else that you're?
So just basically, I've got my online stuff. I just program people online. I don't do so much misconception about this. People, you train people online. You do Zoom. Do you do classes? I'm like, no, don't do that shit. I write programs for people. I check in with them.
Yeah.
Again, I deal with motivated people or people that want to learn.
Yeah.
So that's all kind of just running, and that's as busy as I want it to be, really.
Cool.
Again, within that framework of work-life balance. I know we haven't got a real job, right, because it's fun, because we enjoy what we do. People say that to me, you haven't got a real job, but we have. We've just found a job that we enjoy.
Yeah, it's been hard work. By the way, purpose is hard to create. Like, people think purpose should slap them in the face. I'm like, you have to create it.
We haven't rolled out of bed, have we? And exercise is easy for you. You're lucky. Yeah. Well, it's easy for me because you've done it for like how many years?
Well, the benefit me and you have got of knowing each other, we've seen how hard we've worked to get to where we are now. Yeah. Me and you were the fucking first ones at the gym and the last ones to leave, man.
Yeah.
And we would train as well, by the way. We wouldn't just sit around and we would sit around.
We would sit around,
talk shit. But every day we would do, and I look back and they were fucking hard workouts.
Yeah. Oh, they were, mate. Yeah.
You know, they were.
If you put those into a book now, like I don't know, 50 extreme workouts. We could put every one of those into it, and people would be buying that book and going on. The Amazon reviews would be, "This is bullshit. I can't do it."
What was that exercise where we used to like put 15s on a barbell? The barbell would be on the floor. We put our hands on the barbell. We jump our legs out, jump in, and then we do like a power
clean.
clean.
Yeah, so you do a clean, then a burpee off the bar.
It was like a burpee
and
clean.
a push-up. Yeah.
And we do like 10.
We do 1 each, then 2 each, then 3. Yeah.
What I mean, that was just like a little 20-minute filler.
Let's do that out of our heads.
Do you know what I mean?
Just mix them up.
Yeah. Just insane.
So in terms of what I'm doing, that's my online programming. Then so we're setting up this mission, and the mission for me is the last thing I ever want to do. It feels like it's the culmination of everything.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
It's all my knowledge, all my learning, all my victories, all my pain, all my suffering, all my defeat. I've taken everything that I know and that I've learned, and I've poured it all into this one vessel, and I want to pass all this on to everyone else.
That's quality.
And that's what I'm doing with it. And that I don't want to ever do anything after this. I don't mean I'm retiring. I mean just this is the thing that I want to do forever now.
Yeah,
and that's it. And
that's
again,
a good place to reach, man.
Yeah, that just there. How much passion I have about that. That's what people should have about their jobs.
Yeah,
you know? And if you haven't, you've got the wrong job.
Yeah,
you know, just go do something else.
Yeah, but you've had, like I say, mate, you've had to work very hard to reach that epiphany of like, this is all I want to do.
Yeah.
And what a powerful statement when you say that. Like, this is what my life's dedicated to.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So you got things in order. So on IG, it's Sparta Fitness.
No, it's Craig _ Sparta.
Craig, and have you changed that?
Yes, so that's just online programming now.
Okay, so Craig _ Sparta.
Yeah.
And then last traditional better man question, and this one might get you thinking. What do you need to work on now in order to become a better man? Because we're always asking ourselves this question in the group. So what would make you an even better man? Whether that be dad, human, partner.
I think as a dad, probably being a bit more tolerant of how long it takes my children to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I can get ready and leave the house in 2 minutes, right? A 5-year-old and 8-year-old, it can take anything from 20 minutes to 2 hours, right? I'm very intolerant of this because I hate being late. So for me, definitely being more tolerant of their time frames, I think. And by the way, 2 hours for a 5-year-old must feel like about 3 days, but still, that's how long it takes. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just being more tolerant of that, and letting them enjoy being that age. I think for me, that would definitely make me a better father.
Okay.
As a man, I pretty much bossed it. It's probably the same thing. It's all part of the same thing. I think once you become a father, the two things become embroiled into one, and you can't really separate them. Anything I do to be a better man is going to impact on me being a better father. So I think just that, probably just generally being, I can go from zero. Show this to me sometimes. Oh, don't lose your temper so easily. I'll go from 0 to 100 in like a second. There's no interval time for me to think about it. That time I was benching and Goat took the weight off me, and I nearly killed him.
He didn't take the weight off me. He touched the weight. I still remember that.
But
isn't it weird how like you might call that a curse? I'm like, that's one of the reasons I love training with you, because you didn't have any tolerance. You were like, we're training or we're not. Like,
it's just
don't fuck about.
Yeah.
What are we doing now? And I love that. There was nothing in the middle with you.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing it or we're not.
Yeah, exactly.
If we're not, go away. If we are, let's fucking go.
I think when I apply that to children,
that's a good point. I didn't think about that. But the 2-year-old might not.
It needs to be a little bit toned down. So I think it's just
excellent
that, man.
Point.
It's just working on myself. It's just being more patient, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what I've got really good at. Sounds really arrogant. What I've got really good at is being open to new ideas, which I think you go through phases of your life where you just, like we said earlier, you think you know everything, and then actually the more you know, it kind of just reveals
that you know nothing.
The less you know. Yeah. And we say that to people all the time about our search. You need to come on this search because you don't know what you don't know, and then you need exposing to that. And that's why, I say to everyone, if you want a trainer, just look at who they work with and who they learn from. And that's why I'm working with Steve now in the States, doing all this Max and Broken stuff, non-profit space program, stuff like that. Jim Jones, the guys that are off the edge of the map, basically, they're the guys that I want to work with and learn from. So I think just for me, just to continue being open to new ideas is always a thing, because the kettlebell swings is a classic example. We're taught that 10, 15, 20 reps tops. Pavel even says in one of his books, if you think you want to do 1,000 swings, I'm not the trainer for you. Like, it's a joke, like that's a ridiculous thing to do, but actually the benefits of doing that hormonally, fucking massive. Forget your conditioning, which obviously improves, but the benefits of doing stuff like that are massive. But we're all locked into that narrow viewpoint, and everyone's got that in their lives, some aspect of their life. You've got something that, no matter how open-minded you are, there's always something that you'll think, I know all that I need to know about this, but you never do. And I think just continuing to have that, the thing that the kids have really is that just wanting to know new information all the time.
Yeah, it's that, like we spoke about motivation. I think that can come from being curious too.
Yeah.
Like, I want to learn.
And it's frustrating when the kids do it, because you tell them something, they'll go, why?
Yeah. But it's good questions to ask, isn't it?
You know what? And then you find it sometimes you don't always know the answer.
Yeah.
And then it reveals things in you that you don't know.
Yeah. And finally, mate, there's one thing I haven't said yet.
Hang on, I wasn't ready.
By the way, do you think dodgeball would be allowed to be made in today's day and age?
I believe they're remaking dodgeball.
Oh, no way. Yeah, but it'll be some fucking like censored, like politically correct.
It won't be the what's his name, Patches in the wheelchair throwing spanners at people. I don't think he'll be.
You watch some films now and you're like, whoa, this would not get made now.
Mate, I've heard that it's a lot of the original cast are in it as well.
Oh,
but I don't know what the plot line is.
Dude, we've got to go and see it together.
Yeah, absolutely. Mate, that's the case. It's a date, dude.
Have you still got your dodgeball t-shirt? I haven't got mine.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's virtually unreadable. So
I haven't got mine, but what a fucking film.
So that was I've just got this. So we used to get grief, right, for our attitude at work a lot, and then so we bought these t-shirts that basically said I'm better than you and I know I am. No, we're better than you and we know it.
Thankfully we've changed, right?
We used to wear those to training and to just hang around in, didn't we? So that was the attitude we used to project to other trainers. But there I am talking about not sharing knowledge, and we've all done it.
Oh, mate, thank you. You were and still a great guide for me and great friend.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, I haven't got many friends in the fitness industry, and you're one of them, unfortunately for you.
You brought me up well, mate. I feel like I'm a good trainer.
I think
there's not many things I'm good at, but I think training people. No, I'm serious. Training people is one of them, and I give you a lot of credit for that.
Thank you,
mate. Cheers. That was awesome, man.
Oh, good work, dude.